Hi, it's Dr. Parikh. I know we ran a little short in our first class for Gen Psych 2, so I wanted to make a short video to help clarify what you need, because I've gotten a lot of questions about what is actually due for next week. There's a couple ways to see what's due each week, and I'm going to show you, because again, without this projector, I really couldn't show you Blackboard at all. So one way is weekly assignments, and you'll see right up here, you'll trip over it, is how to do the reading group, and I give you kind of some ideas. Sometimes if people are typing right in Blackboard, they put it in the wrong place. So there's a little video to make sure you're typing in the right place. If you can make a bulleted or numbered list, you are in the right place. And then here is the PowerPoint presentation. So if you just click on it, you'll be able to see the roles, and you can see listed out what your role is. For the first week, I'm going to be pretty forgiving as long as you're making an effort. So as long as you have a few things listed and have tried, I'm going to be pretty generous. I also know this week's readings are a little unusual because there's nothing from the textbook, so it makes it a little funky. Each week you can click on the week, and I have either put up or linked to everything you have to do. So there's the syllabus, which we read. There's step 1 of the lit review process. Here's, on mine it shows the outcomes assessment. You probably can't still access it, and I'll probably delete it actually. And then there is, so for the first week, instead of having you do some sort of reading that you make up later, I basically made a short assignment. It should be fairly easy points. You click on this link and you'll go to a list. I'll ignore this information up here. It's from an old class. Focus on what it says over here. So in order to get 25 points, you answer these questions down here, question 1, question 2, and question 3, with 2 to 3 full sentences for each. So do give me some thoughts, but you don't have to do a whole essay for each one. And complete this sheet over here. It is your choice how much to disclose to me. So you answer the questions that are check boxes and things. But as you go, especially, the questions that are more personal, it's up to you how much information you want to give me. But the more you tell me about things like how you view this course, what's going to be challenging for you, the more context I have, the easier it might be for me to help you later on. And then you are required to do a few questions about, and some of these are for twice a week. I may go in and update those. But these, it basically is to make sure that you've actually looked at the syllabus and understand the syllabus. So this is the first thing you'll do for next week, is this reflection and student information sheet. It's technically under week 1, but it's not going to be due until next week. So now we go into week 2. And for week 2, there's actually no textbook readings. So it shows step 2 and then the step-by-step guide. So let me actually let me open this in a separate window so I can flip between the two easily. Sorry. Oh, it's a Word file. Oh well, that's fine. So you can see each week is 2 lines. It does a couple things. It makes it a little easier for me to think of the class as 2 halves instead of just one long continuous whole, which tends to be a little mind-numbing. Also, it makes it easier for me when I go back and forth between a once a week and a twice a week class, which I do quite a bit. So for each week, you have to look at both halves. And so here you can see the way it happens. One half is assigned step 2 because that's what we're focused on. And then the next half is focused on the whole lit review process. You'll read the entire step-by-step guide. So you can see, let me actually make this smaller and we'll look side by side. Again, this is not my best edited or planned video in the world, but I just have gotten so many confused emails, and it's really hard for me to respond over email. So this is my solution. So you can see this goes over here in Blackboard. It goes through all of the readings that are listed for week 2. And then it's kind of my suggested order of how you do things. Normally I have you do the assignments, the literature review assignments last. But in this case, I think the plagiarism tutorial will actually help you with the APA homework 1, the plagiarism quiz. So you have 3 APA homeworks to do. Most students find that they take about 10 minutes to do. You may take it more than once, so it might take you a little bit longer. And remember, the plagiarism homework, almost everybody needs at least 2 or 3 times going through to get all the pieces I'm looking for, because this is my it's my way to communicate directly with you and make sure that you are very clear on what plagiarism is. Because I can explain it in class a million times, and I still have students who are shocked to find out that you have to use quotation marks to do a word by word for word copy, even if you provided a citation. And so this is how I handle it now. You will do, I have no idea why that, oh, that's the guide that you'll read. So here under the reading, I list all the things that you need to read to go into that reading. And I kind of copy again the description from the syllabus. And if you click on it, there's usually, if you did everything fine, sometimes I'll just type in the points to give you full points. But if there's ever not full points, you can look at the rubric in the grade book. It's a little button that's like right next to your score when you look there. And you'll see this is how I give you feedback about what's not going well. Ignore these 4 over here. They're not very descriptive, but you can see what I've written. And it's kind of, did you completely do it, mostly do it, going down to not at all did it. So you can see if you don't get full points for any reason, you can see what the problem is. But again, this first week, just do your best with your role. I'm going to be pretty generous and considerate when I grade it. I will give you feedback as an individual and as a class, and then the following week, I'll start to expect to see you doing it correctly. So this week, I just expect you to do it with some effort. After this week, I'll expect it to be done correctly. Title page you'll do, and that's when you click on it. Again, there's a rubric, so you can see exactly how I'm evaluating. And this is the way that I give you feedback. This is the way you can see whether it's right so you can fix it in the future. So instead of leaving you a bunch of comments, I'm going to go through the rubric. If you get full points, you might not have a rubric because you've done everything correctly. And you'll download the template, but you will only need to change the first page. Don't bother deleting the rest of it. Just leave it there so you can keep working in the same file every time. And so you'll just literally replace things with your writing. There are other, you can find templates and files other places. I don't care how you get it as long as it's right, but I'll tell you one of your best chances for getting it right is to do it in my template. Also, APA style can be from a lot of things, but if you look, I tell you what's supposed to go in each place. So I just recommend using the template I've made. I've made it to be as helpful as possible. So just change the title page. You don't have to have your final topic idea. Just put something there, something that you think, basically what's the first topic you're going to research in the library. And then this last item, peer-reviewed empirical articles 1 through 4. If you look at it, it's actually due at 7 o'clock or 6 o'clock, yeah. Because we're going to, the first thing we do next week is we have what I call active writing lab time. So part of our time is actually going to be spent working on your paper. In this case, we're going to be in the library, and the psychology librarian, Ellen Johnson, is going to lead us through doing a search. So you'll actually find 4 articles in class, and then you'll upload them here. And it describes how to download the PDF, what file format to use when you're naming it, so, because you're going to attach these articles a lot. And so it's just much easier for me. Like if I want to look for an article to check something in your reference page, it's much easier if there are descriptive titles. And so I just have a straightforward way that I ask you name your titles. So when you go into the week 2, this is everything that you need to do, everything you need to read, everything you need to complete. So I've shown you a couple ways to see what's due each week. One is to go into weekly assignments and just kind of make your way through. Another is to look at the syllabus. In each column, it's kind of the type of thing that's due there. After this week, almost every week we'll have textbook readings, so it'll tell you what pages to read in the textbook, and there's a video for each half of class. So there's 1 to 2 videos for each week, depending on when we have active writing labs and things. And I highly recommend crossing things off as you go. Blackboard is not great at helping you figure out what you've already done and what you still need to do. So I would recommend, even though I have Blackboard as organized as I know how to make it, it's just not a perfect tool. And so if I were you, I would honestly keep my printout of my schedule as a checklist, including the readings. You don't need to worry about the links over here. So you don't need to watch the videos ahead of time. If one sounds interesting and we don't get around to watching it in class, you can certainly click it and watch it later. That's why I have it linked here. But you're responsible for the readings and videos and then the assignments going over. The last place to look is under the calendar. And right now there's a couple extra things still floating that I need to get rid of from, because I updated this course quite a bit from the last time I taught it. And so like this DP1, that's old. I'll get rid of that soon. But you can go and you can see everything that's due on a particular day. Whoops. And mine won't let me because I'm the professor, so it's giving me a different view. But on yours, you can click it and there will be a link to actually go complete the assignment. Again, this is a calendar, not a checklist. So it's going to stay up there. It's not going to go away as you finish each item. You can even try printing this page. Another thing you can do, down here it says get external calendar link. You can actually import this into your calendar and potentially, maybe that could be your to-do list. Maybe you could delete items from your calendar as you finish them. I don't know if that's a thing you can do or if it'll keep resyncing it for you. I don't know, but it's something you could try. So those are the ways you can check every week what to do. I've had some students sending me emails asking me what to do. Honestly, I've made a video, I've made the syllabus, I've made week by week in Blackboard. I make sure everything's updated on the calendar. There's really nothing else I know to do to make it more clear. So if you're still confused after this video, honestly, the best thing you can do is come into office hours. If you have a specific question like, is this reading due? Or if you want to send me a to-do list and ask me if the to-do list is correct, those things I can do over email. But when you send me an email, you always have to keep in mind, is this something she can even answer over email? Because usually I've written things out as clearly as I know how in the syllabus or on Blackboard already. And so if that's not clear enough for you, it's probably not a question that I can answer over email. You probably need to find a time to come meet with me. But again, I know this week was a little crazy and we're really jumping right in part so that we can try to get as much done early on in the semester as we can. So I completely understand the confusion this week. I hope this video was helpful and I will see you next week. Thanks.